Okay, so guys, we definitely need to approach this with some tact here. I can't think of another place off the top of my head that would allow that to exist, right? That to happen in the manner that it happens. And I've kind of always been in the realm, specifically as of like these last multiple years, that like, listen, tact, guys, right? You need to kind of get to the point where we can just move away from man woman thing, if that's the case here. If we're starting to realize that there are people, because of like, you know, whatever elements that are in their life and whatever life paths they've taken to get to where they are, whatever it is, guys, right? But we just need to move back to, bro, can you get prostate cancer, or can you have a baby? Let's say that. Let's just move on. Let's just do it like that. Can we just say male and female? That is not a gender. That is just kind of what you are based off of your DNA. And then obviously there's always a subgroup of people who like living in the realm of exceptions, and they'll mention the very, very small percentage of people on Earth who are born intersex, guys, which is fine. These people exist, and they have the right to kind of do what they choose here, guys, right? I mean, they exist, and then they are not a problem to humanity. You can't fault someone for how they were in fact born, and life. That's just life, guys. But they are not by nature, let's say, what the overwhelming majority of the nature, let's say, of a male is, or what a female is, right? Like they are a special case. You know what I mean? The exception, I would say. And to be honest, I think it comes down to, guys, I don't know. I don't understand it, guys. All right. I'm trying to, again, approach this with as much tact as humanly possible, but I can only be honest with you guys. I truthfully don't understand all the stuff. So what I say here is, let's just stop the nonsense, all of it, and just move on to male or female. Okay. Let's just do it like that. This is not your gender. This is what your DNA dictates. That's it. Let's just move on. Okay. You want to say gender is all these things? Okay. Gender could be all those things. Sure. Why not? Right. But let's just talk about the basics here. Can you have a baby, or can you get prostate cancer? Let's just do that. All right. Because nope. I'm, again, trying to approach it with some tact here, guys. But either way, the Trump government halts passport applications with X gender marker. Okay, let's go. Let's go and jump into this immediately. This is a suggestion via a channel member.
President Donald Trump's controversial policies have been hitting the LGBTQ community very, very hard.
Okay.
In fact, on Thursday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio reportedly issued a directive ordering his staff to halt all passport applications with the X sex marker. Americans who don't identify as either male or female use this marker.
But the identify aspect is, I think, my thing here. Does it matter what you identify with? What does it matter? Why is that even a conversation? Like, keep that to your you know what I'm saying, your the group of people you want to hang out with, and let them identify whatever you want to identify with. But I do think, again, trying to approach this with some tact here. Guys, count how many times I say tact in the comments, guys. Okay, just try. Either way. But what you identify as is irrelevant in this instance here. It's what your DNA dictates, I would say. I would just leave it like that, bro. I'm telling you, it's too much. I don't understand it. I don't see how or why we're focusing on this, because the longer we focus on this overall topic and things like this, the faster other countries are not focusing on the irrelevancy, and they're actually focusing on things that are going to make other countries number one in the world in like everything. We're not number one in a lot of things. I understand that, right? But the longer we focus on this, the faster other countries are going to excel in AI. They're going to excel in technology, because all we're doing is sending people to study gender and things like that. Irrelevancies, guys. We have to focus on tangible things. We did not build this country off of gender studies, guys. We didn't. But other countries realize that, so they're allowing us to do this. That's why they're giving us TikTok and specifically allowing certain type of content on TikTok to exist versus other places like mainly China where they wouldn't allow none of the stuff. Okay, at all. None of the TikTok nonsense stuff that happens on TikTok. That's basically brain rotting the American citizenry. Either way, let's get it, guys.
X sex marker. Americans who don't identify as either male or female use this marker on federal documents for the past 3 years. However, with the Trump administration now only recognizing male and female genders, it seems like the existence of the gender-neutral sex marker has come to an end. Here's more.
I didn't even know it existed, guys.
Hi, Donald.
Wait, did you say more from Foggy Bottom?
Has come to an end.
What is that?
Here's more from Foggy Bottom.
Hi, Donald John Trump.
U.S. President Donald Trump's return to the White House is nothing short of a nightmare
Is the
for the
person
transgender
speaking
community.
named Foggy Bottom?
Day by day, his administration is rolling out measures to crack down on the rights of transgenders and snatch away their identity. On Thursday, Trump's Secretary of State Marco Rubio reportedly ordered his staff to halt all passport applications in the U.S. which have X written where they're supposed to mention their sex.
Okay. Tact.
The marker signals that the person does not identify as either male or female. Now, any applicant seeking to change their sex marker will not be entertained as well. But that's not all. Rubio also directed his staff to use sex instead of gender on federal documents, including passports, visas, global entry cards, and consular report of birth abroad documents.
Guys, that's exactly what I was saying, bro. Just stop playing the game. Just stop playing it. Just say, listen, we're not talking about all of the other stuff. We want to know if something happens to you and you're not like here, we want to make sure that we have the right people in place. So we're not like pregnancy testing a man. You get what I'm saying here? A male. All right. Like we need to make sure, like if something happens to you, when you have your ID, we need to make sure we can actually save your life rather than sitting there playing the games, guys. All right. I would definitely take the word gender off of every single thing.
Visas, global entry cards, and consular report of birth abroad documents. Rubio's order concluded that an individual's sex is not changeable, forcing trans people to use the marker they were assigned at birth. The directive changing millions of lives comes after the inauguration of the new president, where he said the U.S. government will officially recognize only two genders, that is, male and female.
Tact.
This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life.
That's fair.
We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
Wait a second. Okay. So a meritocracy, and that's the reality. I do think that the meritocracy-based societies are incredibly strong. I wouldn't say that we need a full, like 100% meritocracy-based America. I do think that some of the egalitarian-based programs are not extremely terrible, guys. But I would say a good, solid 5% of America needs to be egalitarian. That's it. Nothing more. And the Democrat Party basically wants the entirety of the United States of America to be some egalitarianism-based nightmare. Complete nightmare, bro. Like, oh, you got $1,000 in your pocket? Okay. How many people in your house? 4 people. All of those, you worked for that $1,000, but now you got to go home and give $250 to each one of your roommates, basically, and you keep $250. How dare you? This is a nightmare scenario, and it seems like that's basically what they want. Hence the reason why Kamala basically wanted to up the taxes on specifically upper tax brackets, and I think that's what honestly turned me off of her immediately. I am not someone who cares too much about, let's say, party lines and things like that. I don't care at all about that. But I can tell you this right now, I don't want my taxes going up. And Kamala Harris was specifically going to raise my specific tax bracket. And I'm just like, nah, bro, we can't do that. I'm not doing that. I'll already pay a stupid amount of taxes. I don't want to pay more.
Colorblind and merit-based.
Send it to the Ukraine.
As of today, It will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Trump also signed an executive order on the first day of his presidency narrowing down gender identity and imposing biological classification on people who do not want to be perceived like that anymore. Meanwhile, it is unclear that what will happen to the current passports which already have an X marker. But what's clear is that Trump's executive order is dismantling former President Joe Biden's efforts to be more inclusive of America's gender identification.
Bro, you can do all of that. Like, see, I would not have gone that far to just remove the concept of gender, because obviously there's a whole lot of people who completely started to adhere to I can't even define it, guys. Tact. Let's just say that. They're doing this. I don't know, guys, right? But I would not have even played the game. I would have just said, listen, we are now moving away from the concept of gender, the name specifically on documentation, and et cetera, because there could be some slight confusion. Who knows? That also may be an exception. Who knows, right? But just move away from it and just keep it as, like, specifically what you are in terms of your DNA. Like, I would even take the word male and female off, because some people get upset at that. So just put like XX and XY, or XXY for the other individuals. You get what I'm saying here, guys? I would just leave it like that. I wouldn't even stress them out, because they're gonna be all over TikTok making videos, bro. All right.
The State Department began issuing the X marker on passports in 2022 after a long legal battle by Dana Zim, a non-binary and intersex U.S. Navy veteran, who sued the government over the gender-neutral marker issue back in 2015.
On Transgender Day of Visibility today, the United States affirms that transgender rights are human rights. We celebrate the achievements and resilience of transgender, non-binary, gender-conforming persons around the world. We recognize their bravery and their hard-fought work for equality, inclusion, and the full recognition of their human rights. We celebrate the diverse expressions of gender and full diversity of gender identities around the world. We also want to highlight, as the Secretary announced in a statement earlier today, the historic milestone the Department has reached in its work to better serve all U.S. citizens regardless of their gender identity. Starting on April 11th, U.S. citizens will be able to select an X as their gender marker on their U.S. passport application, and the option will become available for other forms of documentation next year.
Till now, Americans were not required to match their marker with their gender on citizenship documents, photo IDs, or medical documentation. However, with Trump coming to power again, Biden's fast-moving progressive gender policies have been put into reverse gear.
All right, guys. Okay. All right. Now, the only thing that I have concern about specifically are intersex people. That's the one that is slightly, concerning, at least, right? And that's probably the only one that's actually concerning to me. Like, period. It just, these people were born exactly as they are. They can literally float between M and F. But do they? Yeah, they can definitely do that. And so I think that there needs to be something specifically for them. Yeah. I don't care what people do with their bodies, bro. You're an adult. Do whatever you want to do. Right? Leave children out of this completely. I don't think that kids have the brain capacity to figure out what's going on with themselves at all. At all. But if you're an adult, bro, please do whatever you want to do. I have no problem with you. I've been to gay weddings, lesbian weddings. This is not a thing for me, bro. I live half the year in Spain, bro. I live in the south of Spain. If you know the area you got is, yeah. I don't care. And I mean this to the depths of me. I truthfully do not care what you do with your body. I don't care who you marry. You are an adult. I don't care what you do in a bed. That is not my problem. Right. But I just don't like the concept of playing the games, bro. Like, you know what you are, bro. You know what you are. But if you want to solve the issues, the quickest way to solve them is just to make it so you exclusively go off of what your DNA dictates. Problem solved. Right? Okay, I think we made it, guys. Trying to see if I got canceled yet. I don't know, guys. Tact. Catch you guys later. The fact that you just made it to the end of the video says a whole lot, actually. We have a couple other channels. MrLboyd Music, MrLboyd Movie Reacts, along with MrLboyd Discusses, where I just generally speak about the things that specifically matter to me. But in the meantime, I'll catch you guys later.